So this is my video blog on how to stretch, just to improve your mobility, joint strength. It's honestly something that you should do twice a day. I recommend doing it before and after bed, before and after workouts, just pretty much when you have time. But honestly, outside of nutrition and the actual fitness part of it, your workouts, it's probably one of the most important things to do, especially for recovery. Now all I have here is 3 different tools that you can use to stretch your muscles out. Very, very cheap, very, very effective though. I'm sure you've all heard of foam rolling. I preach it all the time. This is the one I use at home. All it is a PVC pipe, and you can buy the foam roller if you want to, but this is just, it's hard. It's literally hard. It digs right into your back or your thigh, whatever you're trying to do. But I'm going to show you some foam rolling exercises. I have a strap at my job, but I just got a necktie from upstairs because this is what you're going to use to hook around your foot to keep your feet stretched out and your legs stretched out and your hamstrings contracted. And then I also have lacrosse balls. You could buy field hockey balls. I just got practice lacrosse balls and this is pretty much going to hit what your foam roller can't. And then I also have just a sock. I know, sounds weird, but you'll see as we go. I'm going to go through stretching first. Pretty much the breakup of your muscles are, you have muscle fibers, and the best way I explain it to people is if you put your headphones that you listen to your music, if you put it in your backpack or your purse or your pocket, and then you pull it out and all of a sudden they're all tangled up and it takes you about 6 minutes to untangle them. Everybody goes through that. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Well, that's kind of like what happens to your muscle fibers after they tear. They come into this little ball. Now just think about blood flow going through that muscle fiber. Is it going to go through better if it's in a tiny little ball, or is it going to go through better if it's in a straight line? Just like everything else, it's going to be that straight line. So what you got to do is you got to pretty much roll out that ball, untangle those headphones, because we want blood flow into our muscles. That's what's really going to help us. Not to mention it's going to create flexibility in your joints, which I think is more important than just stretching out your hamstring or your calf. It's just going to create flexibility. It's going to help you on your lifts. It's going to make you feel better, and you're not going to be as sore the next day. So that's pretty much what it's all about. But honestly, just the relief that it gives your body is just well worth it before and after your workout, especially if you're a heavy lifter and a runner or whatever. But as far as stretching, I don't really like stretching after the workout because your muscles are exhausted. So I don't really believe in pulling on a muscle if it's already exhausted. So I recommend doing this before a workout or before bed, or right when you wake up from your sleep, before your walk, if you walk in the morning like I do. And it's pretty much just simple runner stretching, and that's where the tie comes into play. And that's just pretty much going to be hooked around your foot. So I'm going to show you simple exercises. I recommend doing it until your pain threshold, which is where you find that pain right before you can't take it anymore. That's what you should stretch. But this is how you hook your strap around your foot, and that's pretty much all we're going to use this tie for, or your strap. You can get any strap, like a yoga strap or whatever. Runner stretching are simple. I'm going to show you what I start with. I'm going to show you how to massage your legs out. I'm going to show you how to foam roll, and I'm going to show you how to lacrosse, and I'm just going to talk you through this as I go. I might come up with some random stuff, but I kind of feel like I'm on a cooking show right now, honestly. So as far as stretching, this is the first thing you do just to loosen up everything before you attack it with the foam roller and the lacrosse balls. But you have 3 types of runner stretching that I like to do. One is feet in. You obviously bring your feet in. Now what I do, and this is for every single stretch, the foot that is not bent is the one that you want completely straight up. So if you just chilled here and you did the stretching and this one was not flexed and the toe isn't up here, I don't know if you can see, the toe isn't up, you're not really getting much of a stretch. You're just leaning forward. The second rule I have about stretching is you don't want to pull on a muscle. You literally want your body weight to stretch out your muscle. So I'm not going to come here and grab this foot and pull it until it's stretched. I don't believe in just pulling on muscles. So what I do is I literally just keep it straight. That way it can't be lazy. Wrap it around, and this is your first runner stretch. And what I tell people to do is I tell them to lean towards the bent leg. This will get the stretch behind the leg as long as this thing is straight, no matter what, because right now it's getting a stretch because I'm pulling it. But then what I'll do is I'll find my pain threshold and I'll lean over the bent leg, and I'll do that for about 8 seconds or the pain threshold. Some legs might be more flexible than the others. You can kind of see how I'm all the way in and this leg is laying flat, but look when I switch to my next one. I don't think I can really get my other leg flat, so I tighten it up, bring it in, and see I can't really get that all the way down. But that's what I work on. I mean, eventually I will get there, even though I've been stretching consistently for about 6 months to a year now. I wish I could be more consistent on it because I know how much it works. But I literally pull it tight and I lean towards it. And you find that pain threshold and you'll see it. You'll feel it. But I don't want you like pulling on this thing. I just want you to keep that toe up and let your body weight stretch you out. Now that's the first one for your hamstrings and your groin and your knees. The other one is the quad stretch. That's where you put your leg behind you, toe up. You can have the strap if you want to, or you can just know how to keep your leg straight, and you'll actually just lean back and you'll stretch out your quad. And I would do this probably twice each leg. Even with the hamstring one, you just lean back, you bring it around, keep the toe up, bring this one back, keep the toe up. And I'm sorry if you can't see me on the video. I don't really have a video recorder, so if you're not like catching my foot or whatever, I'll try my best. But keep it up. If it's laying flat and it's lazy like this, you're not really getting much of a stretch. You're just pulling, yanking on the muscle. But you can stretch this leg and this leg while keeping this thing flexed. And all you do is lean back with it. You're not pulling on a muscle. Your body weight is literally going through its functional movement. You're not yanking on it. You're not standing up and pulling that heel to your butt like most people do. But you're really gaining flexibility in your knees, your hips. You're stretching out your groin, your quads, and everything. So those are the first two. The other one, I don't know if you'll catch this on video, but I'm just going to lean back. And this is a hamstring stretch. I like to keep that one straight. And I like to wrap this toe with the tie or the strap. And I like to kind of pull it back. And then I kind of like to lean forward to get the stretch. Trying to get my knee as close to my head as possible, or head close to the knee as possible. Then what I'll do is I'll hold that for 8 seconds or until the pain threshold goes away, and I'll stretch it to this side, keeping it straight, keeping this leg on the ground, and then what I'll do is I'll get a groin stretch and I'll actually stretch it out. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'll hold about each for about 8 to 10 seconds or until the pain threshold goes away, and I'll really just dig my head all the way up into my knee, and then I'll obviously do the other side. And then after all 3 of those stretches are done, you got the in, you got the back, and then you got the up and overs. I really just like to take my hands and massage out my quads, kind of like trying to find the trigger points after you're sore. So what I'll do is I'll literally go up and down the thigh, massaging the thigh, trying to find the trigger points, getting some blood flow in there. And then what I'll do is I'll actually take my palms and I'll do circles into my thigh, and I'll really stretch it out. That's 1 with the rub, 2 with the circles, and then 3 I just kind of like to shake it to make sure everything is clear, make sure blood flow is going. This is really going to help you try and find your trigger points, but it's a really big difference after you stretch it all. Kind of give it a nice massage after you pulled it for a while. And then you go with the other one, massage it up and down the thigh maybe 2 or 3 times, find your trigger points with the palms, rub it around in circles, and then you just kind of shake it out. Get blood flow, get them moving. Because now we're about to beat them up with the foam roller. The foam roller, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 major muscle groups I like to roll out. One's my lower back, one's my upper back, one's my quads, and one's my hamstrings and glutes. The first one I start with is my glutes. So what I'll do is I'll actually take this foam roller, I'll place it down, and I'll actually sit on it. Now I'm on a foam roller and I'm on carpet. Usually I do it on a towel upstairs on my hardwood floor, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm sitting on it, I'm going to cross my leg, and I'm going to lean to one side of the glute, and I'm going to drop my elbow. Let me see if you can see me. Alright, and I'm literally going to roll back and forth. Now what I do when I start with foam rolling is it's going to hurt. I mean, you're going to find trigger points and it's going to knock your breath away. So I start with fast rolling just to find it, and then I'll start with slow rolling. Now I can't really tell you exactly where to roll. It's all about where you find yourself to roll out the quad. So that's why you gotta try to find these trigger points. You might not even have some trigger points, especially if you take like recovery weeks. But you cross that leg over, lean to the side, and roll that glute out. And then you'll obviously switch sides, cross it over, lean to the side, and roll that glute out. You want to start hard, trying to get the pain away, and then you go slow and really get into it. What I tell most people when I'm not with them is about 20 reps, 20 rolls on that thing, or until it stops hurting. It's something that should honestly take your breath away. It's one of those catch-22 good feelings, like a deep tissue massage. So that's for your glutes. After that, I'll just sit on it, both, starting at the lower glute. I'll put my hands behind me, and I'll just literally roll out my upper hamstring up and down, and then I'll move it to my lower hamstring, and I'll do 20. You can't necessarily find trigger points right here, but at least you're getting blood flow in and out of that hamstring right there. Hamstrings are actually one of the major muscle groups in the body. Not many people even train hamstrings, and I just find that ridiculous. They literally control your lower body. You walk on your legs, you don't walk on your arms, so you need to train them and take care of them. The next one is I'm staying on my butt, my back side, and I'll roll out my lower back. So I'll take my foam roller, I'll sit on the ground, I'll literally place this foam roller, here, let's go this way, on the ground. I'll put my lower back on it, I'll release my hands, and I'll just go up and down the lower back right there. And I'll get about 20 rolls. Oh, that's how it should feel. And it should hurt, and it should dig in. Oh, and you keep going. Now what you're going to do, let me scoot this back some, is you're going to get your upper back as well. And you're just going to go up and down. Now what I do with my upper back is I place my arms in different areas. That way I can reach each and every muscle in my back. So I'll put my arms flat like this. And then I'll cross my arms to hopefully get more of the lat. And then I'll actually put my arms straight. So there's 3 different ways you can roll out your upper back, just depending on arm placement, because it contracts the muscles and you'll be able to hit more muscles. Like I said, 20 reps each, right after your each glute side, and just roll out all those trigger points. Even if you don't have trigger points, it's smart to roll out your muscles just to get blood flow in them. It's very, very smart. Foam rolling, stretching are one of the 2 most underrated things in the fitness world, and I don't ever see really anybody doing them. Probably because they should be doing it at home, but you will definitely feel the difference. It's not necessarily one of those things that you see the difference. Most people just like to see results, but you will feel the difference, especially in your workouts. It will continually make your workouts 10 times better, especially if you're squatting, deadlifting, or even running. It could help your running, because it's not just your quads, your hamstrings, it's also those knees, ankles, hips, all those joints that people don't even worry about. Flexibility. So what's the third one and the fourth one? We did the back. Okay, now we got the quads. This is where we roll over. This one is painful. Okay, it should be. So what I do is I put the foam roller right here, put it up to my knees, get the plank position, and I'm literally rolling up and down my thigh 20 times. Now this one you should feel a couple trigger points, especially after a good squat workout or a leg workout. But where you really get your trigger points is on the side of your thighs, to where you turn and you're literally using your body weight distribution to go up and down this foam roll. All the way up to the hip flexor, all the way down to the IT band in your knee, and just roll it out. Now let's say you do find a trigger point up in your hip flexor. Since it's such a long muscle, let's say you find one up here. I would just sit up here and roll this thing out 20 times. 20 times. And just roll it out until it feels good. Then if you find another one down the way, roll that out 20 times and roll out every single trigger point you find. And then you would obviously go to the other leg. Now there's other ways. Can't really foam roll your chest on a foam roller. It'd be kind of awkward. You could do your lats. You just can't hit the right spots. Stuff in your calves where you can't really feel, maybe even something in your quads. But when I teach my classes, I literally have a lacrosse ball in my hand, and it's funny because I'm just sitting there and I'm rubbing it. So I'm gonna show you 2 ways to use these lacrosse balls. and the sock, because you're probably wondering what the sock is for. But you take a hard lacrosse ball, field hockey ball, anything. You don't want a tennis ball because you want something that's going to stay, not squeeze. And just like we were massaging out our quads and our hamstrings, that's kind of what this lacrosse ball idea has to do, but it gets more pressure into it. So you should have found your trigger points. If you didn't get them with your foam roller just because you couldn't, then you use the lacrosse ball. So you could take it up here. Let's say you found a trigger point underneath your thigh that you can't get with the lacrosse ball, close to your groin. That's where you start digging it in. And you will literally feel that trigger point. It's like you're rubbing, let's say you take this lacrosse ball, and I have a little ball on the carpet right here, and I'm rubbing it over the ball. You'll feel that bump. That's kind of like what it's going to feel like under your skin. It's a little bump, but you can get deep within the groin, rub it in clockwise. I don't really do the counterclockwise. I just do clockwise. And I'll just rub it in until it, the pain either eases or you can literally feel it rolling out. Other side, the groins. I tell you, I do it to my chest. I'll take it, and I know you feel sore in your chest. Everybody always talks about their chest. And they roll it. You find the trigger points all up and down the chest. You can do it on your bicep. You can do it on your tricep. You can do it on your calf, rolling it out. Now, you obviously can't reach your back with this unless you have super long arms, which is what the sock comes into play. So we're actually going to make our own foam roller. You're going to take this sock and you're going to stuff it. This is why I bought 6 of these lacrosse balls. You're going to stuff it. I do 3 with lacrosse balls, and you're kind of going to make your own foam roller. That way you can get every single muscle in your back, especially if you feel the soreness. So all you do is here. There's 3 lacrosse balls right there. I made my own foam roller. Get them down till they're all the way touching each other. Here's that awkward silence as I breathe hard. Alright, anyways, you get the point. So the difference between this foam roller is that it's smooth. It gets the big parts of the muscle. But let's say your back is shaped like this. The foam roller doesn't get that top point. These lacrosse balls will. They'll get that top point. So you literally got to find these trigger points. You're going to make this a foam roller. I recommend putting it up and down like this, putting it on the floor, and then you get in between the spine with these lacrosse balls, and you just literally find the spot by laying on it. Sorry if my knee's blocking it. Here, I'll turn. And you literally find it, and this should be the most painful thing. That's why we save it for last, because it's also the most pleasurable. And you find that trigger point, and you just roll it out. In and out of the spine. Now you can get the little small muscles up in your upper back too with the lacrosse balls. Like I said, your chest. But you could literally walk around work or whatever, or sit at the desk and just lacrosse ball your chest. It'll feel a lot better. It'll recover a lot better for your next workouts. I mean, you shouldn't be doing chest days anyways, but might as well just read that workout blog that I wrote a week ago as far as that. Literally all of this stuff costs $10, $15. You have a necktie and you have a sock. So $25 as far as improving your workout is just crazy. And I think everybody should do it. And you can't knock it until you try it. But literally the stretching is at first. I don't have like a physiology degree. I just go by pure experience. And just stretching alone could literally up your squat routine drastically. Squat, deadlift, presses. It literally heals you from all those eccentric movements that you do. So when you go down in the squat, that's where you get your soreness at. Then when you push up, that's where you get your leg workout. But you got to go down before you go up. So same with curls. Let's say you curl it up, that's your workout. This eccentric right there, that's where your muscles get sore. So that's going to help you recover as far as that. But I would honestly say this whole routine takes about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And it probably took about 12 to explain. So really dig it in. Don't lean or don't pull on your muscles. Lean towards your muscles. Okay? You can turn your feet in and out if you feel a soreness somewhere else. So if you feel it more in the inner thigh, turn it out. If you feel it more in the outer, turn it in. But it's all about knowing your body. in, out, back, back, and then you got the ones that are over your head going side to side. That should hit all the legs. Make sure you massage them out. Then you hit up the foam roller. Foam roller, you got 4 major muscle groups to hit: upper back, lower back, hamstrings, and quads. And then everything else that you missed, that's where these lacrosse balls come into play. So if I saw you walk into the gym with a necktie and a big old sock and some PVC pipe, I would know you watched this, but I would give you mad kudos because you're really going to improve your workouts, I guarantee it. I'll give you a little bit more explanation in the actual blog post, but as far as the video goes, that's it. You can comment on the blog post. Let me know if you have any questions, if you still have soreness, but it should feel like a 20-minute deep tissue massage. It should feel good. You feel good afterwards. Right when you stand up from the ground, you'll know the difference. Again, I recommend it before bed and after bed, before you work out and after you work out. I don't honestly think that you'll do it 4 times a day, but you might once you get addicted to it like I have. So comment on this blog. If you have any questions, I'll answer them, and I'll give a little bit more detail as I type up the blog. But as far as that goes, go get your stuff. Read the other blogs. We'll talk to you later. Geoff Morehart Fitness.